The salty air hung heavy over Martha's Vineyard. 14-year-old Brent cast his line into the churning Atlantic. He dreamt of hockey stardom, his NHL posters plastered on his bedroom wall. Today, however, the fish weren't biting, and his dreams felt a million miles away. A sleek yacht cut through the waves, breaking Brent's daydream. It anchored a short distance away, its opulence a stark contrast to Brent's humble fishing boat. A man emerged on the yacht's deck, his sharp eyes scanning the horizon until they landed on Brent. He signaled Brent to approach.
Intrigued, Brent reeled in his line and steered towards the imposing vessel. As he got closer, Brent saw the man more clearly. He was older, dressed impeccably in a white linen suit, his face tanned and weathered, but with an unsettlingly youthful energy. He smiled at Brent, a smile that didn't quite reach his cold, calculating eyes.
"Lost something, son?" the man asked, his voice smooth as silk. Brent, usually shy, found himself drawn to the man's strange charisma.
"Just my luck, I guess," Brent replied, motioning towards his empty bucket.
The man chuckled. "Luck is a fickle thing, young man, but I can tell you're destined for greatness. Hockey, isn't it?" Brent's jaw dropped. How could this stranger know his deepest desire?
"I could help you achieve your dreams," the man continued, his voice barely above a whisper. "Everything you ever wanted. Fame, fortune, glory. All I ask for is a small favor in return, something insignificant. We'll discuss it later, when you're at the top." He extended a hand towards Brent.
Brent hesitated, his hand hovering over the man's. Something felt off. This man, this promise of a shortcut to his dreams, it was all too good to be true.
"What's your name, sir?" Brent asked, his voice suddenly unsure.
The man's smile widened, and for a fleeting moment Brent thought he saw something sinister flash in his eyes. "My name is of no consequence," the man said, his voice taking on a harder edge. "What matters is what I can offer you, a chance to become a legend. Think about it, boy. Your dreams within your grasp." Brent looked from the man's outstretched hand to the distant shore, then back again. The man was right. His offer was incredibly tempting. Could this be the break he'd been waiting for?
I need some time to think," Brent stammered, his heart pounding in his chest.
The man withdrew his hand, his smile fading slightly. Of course. Take all the time you need, but don't take too long." "Time," he said, his voice dropping to a low growl, "waits for no one." With that, he turned and disappeared below the deck of the yacht. The engine roared to life, and just as quickly as it had arrived, the yacht sped away, leaving Brent alone with his thoughts. Days turned into weeks, and the memory of the encounter at sea lingered in Brent's mind. The man's offer, his promise of fame, haunted his every waking moment. He tried to focus on his training, on honing his skills, but the stranger's words echoed in his ears. "Everything you ever wanted. All I ask for is a small favor." Finally, unable to resist the lure of his ambition any longer, Brent made his decision. He would take the deal. He returned to the spot where he'd met the man, his heart filled with a mixture of excitement and dread. As if by magic, the yacht reappeared, the mysterious millionaire standing on the deck, a knowing smirk on his face.
"I've made my choice," Brent called out, his voice trembling slightly.
The man nodded, his eyes gleaming with an unholy light. "Excellent choice, Brent. You won't regret this." And so, the pact was sealed, with a handshake that felt colder than ice. True to his word, the man, who Brent now simply referred to in his mind as the benefactor, used his influence to open doors for Brent. Scouts were captivated by Brent's newfound skill and ferocity on the ice. He climbed through the ranks with unparalleled speed, his name becoming synonymous with victory. He signed a multi-million-dollar contract, his face plastered on billboards, his every move followed by adoring fans. He had achieved his dreams just as promised. Despite his success, a sense of unease gnawed at Brent. He couldn't shake off the feeling that he was being watched, that something sinister lurked just beyond his sight. The whispers started subtly, a murmur in a crowded room, a fleeting shadow in the corner of his eye. They grew louder with each passing day, taunting him, reminding him of the price of his success. He tried to ignore them, to lose himself in the whirlwind of his new life, but the whispers persisted. They followed him onto the ice, echoing in the roar of the crowd, chilling him to the bone. Sleep offered no escape. Nightmares plagued him, visions of the benefactor's cold eyes and the chilling laughter that seemed to seep into his very soul. Brent tried to distract himself from the growing unease. He bought a sprawling mansion overlooking the ocean, hoping its grandeur would drown out the whispers. He filled his life with lavish parties, beautiful people, and the constant reassurance that he had earned his success. But the fear remained, a constant companion he couldn't shake off.
One night, while nursing a drink in his cavernous library, my gaze fell upon a dusty, leather-bound book I'd never noticed before. I picked it up, its weight surprisingly heavy in my hands. As I opened it, a musty smell wafted up, and the book fell open to a page marked with a faded crimson stain.
Brent's team was on a winning streak, poised to take home the coveted Stanley Cup. The pressure was immense, the weight of his team's hopes and dreams resting on his shoulders. He could feel the benefactor's presence growing stronger, a palpable darkness that seemed to seep into his every thought.
"One more win, Brent," the whispers hissed. "One more win and the price will be paid."
The championship game arrived, a whirlwind of noise and blinding lights. Brent, usually a force of nature on the ice, felt an unfamiliar wave of fear wash over him. The whispers were deafening, drowning out the roar of the crowd, the shouts of his teammates. He glanced up at the VIP box, half expecting to see the benefactor's smirking face, but it remained empty. After the most grueling game of his life, Brent scored the winning goal in overtime. The crowd erupted, his teammates mobbing him on the ice. He should have felt ecstatic, but all he felt was a bone-chilling dread. As the celebration raged around him, Brent felt a tap on his shoulder. He turned, and his blood ran cold. Standing before him amidst the cheering crowd was the benefactor, his eyes burning with an infernal glow. "Congratulations, Brent. You fulfilled your end of the bargain. Now it's time for you to fulfill yours." Panic seized Brent. He tried to push past the benefactor, but the man's grip on his arm was unyielding. The crowd faded away, the sounds of celebration replaced by an eerie silence. Brent found himself standing in his mansion's library, the only light emanating from the fireplace. "Do you know who I am, Brent?" the benefactor asked, his voice a guttural growl. Brent stumbled back, fear constricting his throat.
You're the man from the yacht,"
he stammered. The benefactor threw back his head and let out a chilling laugh that echoed through the silent house. "Oh, that's just one of the many faces I wear. I am the one who grants wishes, the one who offers power in exchange for a trifle. I am the devil, Brent, and you belong to me." The room seemed to plunge into darkness, the air thick with a suffocating dread. Brent fell to his knees, his mind reeling. He had traded his soul for fame and fortune, and now the devil had come to collect. As Brent stared in horror, the room around them began to shift. The luxurious library dissolved, replaced by a desolate wasteland under a blood-red sky. The air was thick with the stench of sulfur, and the ground beneath them was scorched and barren. "Welcome to your new home, Brent, a place where dreams turn to ashes and glory is but a distant memory." Brent tried to speak, to beg for mercy, but no words escaped his lips. He was trapped, bound to the devil for all eternity. The devil reached out, his hand engulfed in flames, and placed it upon Brent's forehead. "Your soul is mine now, boy, and you will spend the rest of your existence serving my will." The next morning, Brent's mansion was found abandoned. The doors were flung open, expensive furniture overturned, the remnants of a struggle evident throughout the house. The Stanley Cup lay dented on the floor, a silent testament to Brent's shattered dreams. The police investigated, of course, but they found no signs of forced entry, no evidence of foul play. Brent had simply vanished, leaving behind his fortune, his fame, and a trail of unanswered questions. Some whispered that the pressure had gotten to him, that he had cracked under the weight of his own success. Others, however, claimed that there was something more sinister at play. They spoke of a darkness that surrounded Brent, a coldness in his eyes that hadn't been there before. They spoke of the night he disappeared, of the chilling screams that echoed through the empty halls of his mansion. The legend of Brent's deal with the devil became a cautionary tale, whispered among aspiring athletes, a reminder that some shortcuts come with a price too high to pay. And though the world moved on, the devil never forgot. He had claimed Brent's soul, adding it to his collection of trophies, a testament to his power and the seductive allure of his promises. For those who listened closely, on quiet nights when the wind howled like a mournful cry, they could hear it, a faint whisper carried on the breeze, echoing Brent's name. a chilling reminder that the devil always collects his due. Please remember to hit like and subscribe to my channel.